This episode of From Tops to Bottoms contains strong language, content of a sexual nature, and stuff that will probably offend your nan.
Hello guys, gals and non-binary pals. Welcome to our second episode of From Tops to Bottoms Aftercare. My name is Cassie.
My name is Sam.
And today we're going to be answering your questions about our last episode, Pride Month and Biphobia. But before we begin, the day that we are recording this is Sam's birthday!
Yes,
Woo-hoo!
it is, bitch. I'm a whopping 29 years old. Hi.
You don't look a day over 21, my gal.
Oh, that's a lie, but thank you. I love you so much.
We had a little bit of a, well, I had a little bit of a cry last night on FaceTime, missing her, and Sam had a little bit of a cry about half an hour ago. So, you know, it evens out.
It does. I mean, I did have an unashamedly ugly cry because Cassie made me the most lovely gift I've ever seen in my life. And it was a nice little video from all of my friends and family back home that I haven't seen in over a year. And that was really, really nice. And I love you so much. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. I will probably be posting some videos and pictures of Sam over on the From Tops to Bottoms Instagram, so go give us a follow on there if you want to see some embarrassing videos of me and Sam dabbing.
I love that so much.
Singing Jason Derulo.
When you say embarrassing, do you mean iconic?
They're one and the same, no? Right, okay, let's get into questions or we will be here forever, and you want to go and celebrate your birthday.
Yes.
Okay, so as we said, we're going to be answering questions about the last episode, which was about Pride Month and biphobia and internalised biphobia. And honestly, the feedback we had was so emotional. Like, it was incredible. I don't know about Sam, but I defo had a little bit of a cry. Yeah. The messages were just insane. Like, we were both nervous, weren't we?
I do want to take, like, a little bit of a moment to, like, thank everyone for all of the kind messages that I've had, like, from Cassie, from the account directly. Everyone has just been so fucking lovely, and it's so nice. Not nice to hear that people are in a relatable position, but nice that it brings comfort to some people, and that I'm not alone, and that the honesty and vulnerability that it took was greatly appreciated, which is I was incredibly nervous to put it out, but it's nice that wasn't for no reason.
Yeah, for sure. The messages were just insane. We had messages from so many people, like, giving their story, like people that I know, people I don't know, saying that they recently come into terms with their queerness and that it helped them, and it was so emotional because I know I could have, like, I could have used something like this or like that episode at some point in my, like, journey, I guess. So to know that we'd help people was so lovely. And then we had people recommending the episode,
that just
which
blows
was
my
just
fucking
bizarre.
mind. That literally blows my fucking mind.
They had listened to it and then said, "Oh, I know who this will help," and sent it to them, and then they messaged us, and it was really emotional. And,
like, we had messages come in from literally an hour and a half after it was released, was I think when I got my first message, and I was just like, oh my god, people are listening, and, like, people have notifications on for this to come out, and that just, honestly, it blows me away every single time.
I'm so grateful for the people that do listen, and honestly, I'm still shocked at the numbers that we have, because like, for a small little podcast, I thought we'd have about 30 viewers, and no, it's not that at all. But yeah, we'll answer the questions now, but thank you to everyone that spoke to us, and thank you for everyone for the kind words, because it's just been so lovely, and we've got some pretty vulnerable episodes coming up, and I think that was sort of the boost we needed to be like, no bitch, you can do this, like, it's all good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, we've got the emotional moment out of the way, let's go into more emotional moments. The first question, are loved ones ever biphobic towards you? If so, how do you deal with it?
I personally have not really had too much of an issue, like, with my close family. I have had some friends that have come out with pretty biphobic statements, and I generally right now am in a bit of a place where I don't always feel comfortable calling it out. I think it's important if you're calling out your family members for biphobia to be aware and be safe. You don't always have to come at it with aggression. I think coming at it with letting them know how that makes you feel. If you are out and they are being biphobic to you, then I think you're obviously in a better position to call someone out. But if you don't feel comfortable outing yourself in that process, then do whatever you have to do to keep yourself safe.
I agree. Like, never come out if it's not safe. For me, if loved ones are biphobic, the way I see this question is towards me and me being bisexual. So that's how I'll answer it. Yes, I've definitely had loved ones that are biphobic. Won't lie, heartbreaking. I really hate it. I noticed in the last episode I said I hate it a lot. But honestly, like, I hate it. So it's tough. How do I deal with it? I just know that even myself as a queer, I have internalized biphobia, so not to judge them too harshly, and it's a learning process for everyone. We've all been socialized in this way, we've all internalized it along the way, so like everyone needs to unpack it, not just me. So I think, as Sam said, like, there's a calm way of doing it. Don't come at it with aggression, and just be like, hey, don't know if you know, but like that's biphobic. They're not actually more likely to cheat. That's just a myth. Your sexuality is a potential of being attracted to someone, not who you're actually attracted to.
Yeah.
The number of people. Just so you know, anyway, because that could be quite harmful. And then then it's totally up to them how they react. They could be defensive, or they could hopefully learn from it and grow. And if they're defensive, then fuck them.
That's their issue, not yours.
Okay, question number 2. In regards to internalized biphobia, how do you work on changing that mindset?
Slowly.
Good answer.
I think, yeah. Particularly if you've been dealing with it for a very long time, something that I've been told, obviously, by you and by a lot of people that I've learned to surround myself with, is that you are allowed an adjustment period. If you have recently come out and you are just coming to terms with your sexuality, it does not have to happen overnight. Do not put too much pressure on yourself. Remember that you have had so many years where you have been living effectively a different life, and it's okay to not be completely okay with your new self overnight. By working on that, be patient with yourself. Surround yourself with people that love and care about you. Surround yourself with the culture, and just do it slowly.
Yeah, I agree. Slowly is definitely the best way to do it. You cannot put so much pressure on yourself to, say the day you come out, be okay with it. But recently, a conversation me and Sam had was that, and also conversations I've had with other queer people recently, has been that you assume that the day you come out, that's it, relief, like freedom. But unfortunately, for a lot of us, the work starts there.
Yeah, that is literally just a start. You could not have put it better.
Once you've come out, your worries are no longer about how people are going to react. Then you're just left with your own internalized biphobia, and that is just, for me anyway, my worst enemy. Advice I always give to people that have just come out or that are coming to terms with their queerness: learn your history. The more you know about your history, the more real it becomes. The more you know about your own history, the more real it is in your head, and how can you deny that when there's so much history? So I think that's definitely a good place to start. As I said in the last episode, do things that make you feel queer if that's what you want. Don't stop yourself because it's a silly thing to do. You've got to do what feels right for you at the time. And if that makes you feel temporarily gayer, then do it. I'm really not opposed to that, but that, as long as you're doing other work to unpack it, I think that it's totally okay to tiny things that make you feel a little bit gayer. Do you know what I mean? You need to validate yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Find yourself some queer activities to do.
Surround yourself with queer people. You will be shocked at the amount of validation you'll receive by being with other queer people. I wasn't really around many queer people when I was like coming to terms with it, and I've now surrounded myself with queer people recently, like in the past year, and I just kicked myself. Like, why didn't I do this when I was coming out? It was so much harder. Like, why didn't I have this validation then? But yeah, surround yourself with queer people, know your history, do things that make you feel validated. And a friend actually messaged me about this episode and said that she had a piece of paper that had like words that would validate her, and when she's feeling shit about it, when she's feeling low about it, she just reads it and has a little think. And I think that's so lovely, and I think that's a really good idea. I too have little mantras in my head sometimes. Like, if I feel uncomfortable in a queer space, I'm like, actually, you belong here too. You're the B in LGBT. You belong here. Like, this is a queer space and you're queer. You're fine to be here.
I might do that as well. I always write down all the negative words. I might start writing down the positive words to read when I need
Nice,
to.
really, isn't it? Okay, next question, if you're done with that, Sam. I'm sure we could both speak about this forever. How did we begin our journey in becoming happy with our sexuality?
I mean, I was born and then I was gay. No, I mean, I'm still very much on that journey. I'm still very much on that journey of becoming absolutely happy with my sexuality. So, my start to the journey was, I think, coming out to my family and friends, and then saying it out loud to other people helped me start feeling happy.
I think for you, it was
it.
definitely acknowledging it.
Yeah, because I did not acknowledge it for the longest time.
Yeah, as we mentioned in the last one, when you said, oh, I'm bi, but, it's not really a big thing. Like, I think to acknowledge it more than that was definitely a first step for you to becoming more accepting of yourself. For me, I don't know. And I hate that I'm joked in the last episode saying it was my area of expertise, but this answer is going to probably disappoint people. I just faked it. Like, fake it till you make it. I pretended I was happy with it for the longest time. And probably often still do, until I slowly became comfortable with it. I don't think that's the best way to do it. If it works for you, great. It worked for me. Probably wasn't the healthiest way to do it, but yeah, I did just fake it until I made it, because I couldn't discuss it with family or friends, and I was in a straight-facing relationship, and the only thing left for me to do was just sort of like shout about it and pretend no one was listening, even though I knew people were listening, and just pretend to be totally okay with it. But just be aware of that, that one day you might wake up and be like, fuck, I am totally not okay with this. So yeah, I would just say, back to Sam's advice, slowly. Just do it slowly. Say it out loud. Speak to people about it. That's probably how I'd become happy with it. How does a straight person call someone out on biphobia? I would say in the exact same way you would call someone out for racism, in the exact same way you would call someone out for any form of queerphobia, and I would say in the exact same way a queer person would call someone out for any of those things.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add to that.
Just do it as if you'd just seen someone be racist in the pub, if someone's being biphobic, just in the exact same way. It's still your place to say it. Like, you're capable of being an ally. Stop overthinking it and just do it.
Make that choice.
Okay, the last question. How do you deal with biphobia mentally?
When I figure that out, I will let you know.
Honestly, same. How I deal with it mentally, I always ground myself and remind myself of what I would tell my friends. I remind myself of the statistics. I remind myself just how valid I am. I remind myself of the bisexual icons that have shaped the queer community, and I remind myself that as long as I'm happy with who I am, who gives a fuck what anyone else thinks. That's how I personally stay mentally happy about it all. And also, bicons are the best people I've ever met, so you know, it's hard to be sad about it. Anything to add, Sam?
Honestly, no. I can't think of anything else I want to say about that, other than when I figure it out, I'll let you know.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all our questions for today. Stunning. Thank you for everyone that sent in your questions.
Yeah, thank you so much for all of your love and support and your questions. We both really do appreciate it.
Yeah, never stop sending us messages. If you've messaged us at every single episode telling us that you've enjoyed it, we're never going to get bored of hearing from you. Like,
not at all.
Keep sending them. We love it. Like, you should see our WhatsApp chat. It's just constantly sending each other texts and screenshots of, like, messages people have sent us, and then me and Sam crying on FaceTime. It's just a holy show.
Literally.
But we love it.
If you don't already, make sure you follow us on Instagram at From Tops to Bottoms. My personal Instagram is at Samantha and BJ.
Mine is at radicallove.co.uk, and that is the same for my website too.
Remember, we do have an email address if you want to be old school, which is hellotopstobottoms@gmail.com.
We also have a Facebook page now, which is From Tops to Bottoms, and a Twitter account, which is at Tops to Bottoms. So follow us and all that to see us chat more and more shit.
We do have an episode coming out on Friday about all things nudes. Woo-hoo. So make sure you listen to that. It's going to be a great one.
Yeah, come and listen to us talk about our first ever nude sending session. It's really tragic. Okay, Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate every single one of you. Sam is going to go and enjoy her birthday.
And also have another ugly cry at the video, I think. So until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.